Are you ready for a breakdown of the Texas versus West Virginia college basketball game coming up on February the 26th? If you stay tuned, I'll break down the game for you, and I'll tell you how to bet and where to bet. So stay tuned. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? Welcome to another edition of Couz's Corner, where I serve up college football, and in this case, a little college basketball content to you several times a week. If you like that kind of content, you need to hit that red subscribe button for me if you haven't already. Please give me the thumbs up if you like this here specific video. Please share my channel with all your college sports loving friends who may not know who I am. I'm going to give you a link at the end of this video and also in the description box that will take you to the BetUS website where you can place your bet on this game. Use the promo code JOIN125. You'll get up to 125% credit on your first bet. If you use the link I provide, I can also make a little bit of commission off of it. Let's get on with the show. As I break down this game, first of all, the Vegas odds have not been released as of the recording of this video, but I can tell you that ESPN odds have Texas as a 60% chance of winning and West Virginia with a 40% chance of winning. You look at the two teams, Texas comes in with a 20-8 record, 9-6 in Big 12 play. West Virginia is an even 14-14 on the season, 3-12 in Big 12 play, and they're definitely trending in the wrong direction. The game is at WVU Coliseum in Morgantown, West Virginia. Will tip at 2 o'clock p.m. on ESPN2. You look at the streaks for this team, West Virginia has lost 5 straight games and 12 of their last 13. Just reeling right now. Definitely, like I said, heading in the wrong direction. You've got Texas, who have won 3 of their last 5. The one good thing I guess you can say about West Virginia, they are a much better team at home. They've won all 3 of their Big 12 wins have been at home at the Coliseum. But Texas has also won 3 road games this year in Big 12 play. They're 3-4 on the road, whereas West Virginia is 3-4 at home. So don't know if there's much of an advantage there, but I do know that the WVU Coliseum is sold out for this game. So kudos for Mountaineer Nation for turning out, even though their team is reeling right now. That says a lot about the fan base. So if they can give them a reason to get excited, this crowd will be loud and could impact this game. When you look at the team stats for this game, Texas, you look at points per game, Texas averaging 68.6 points a game, West Virginia 68.3. So these two teams are pretty evenly matched offensively. But here's where the edge goes to Texas, and that's on the defensive end. Texas only allowing 58 points a game, which is actually 4th in the country. They have the 4th best scoring defense in the entire nation, where West Virginia is giving up 68 points a game defensively. So they're giving up as many as they're scoring, which is the reason they've been struggling lately. Field goal percentage, Texas shooting 44.4% from the field, West Virginia shooting 41.2%. Rebounds, Texas pulling down about 33.5 a game, West Virginia about 33 a game. Assists, Texas is at 13.4 a game, West Virginia is at 10.6. Blocks, Texas is at 3.4, West Virginia is at 4.8. Steals, Texas at 8 a game, West Virginia about 7.7. And then streaks, Texas won their last game, West Virginia has lost 5 in a row. Now let's look at some key player stats for this game. The biggest scores for Texas, Timmy Allen's leading the team with 11.9 a game. He also leads the team at 6.4 rebounds a game. You've got Andrew Jones, the really good guard who seems like he's been at Texas forever. He seems to hurt West Virginia every time they play, but he's averaging 11.1 a game. And then Marcus Carr is averaging 11 a game, and he's also leading the team with 3.4 assists. So Texas has a very balanced scoring attack, especially with those 3 guys all averaging over 11 a game. When you look at the Mountaineers, you've got Taz Sherman, one of the top scorers in the Big 12 at 18.5 a game. Also leads the team with 2.5 assists a game. And then you've got Sean McNeill coming in second at 12.7 points a game. And then Gabe Oseboyne, the best rebounder on this team, averaging 5.7 a game. But go back to Sean McNeill for a minute. One key thing in this game, and I think Sean McNeil is going to be key in this game. When you look at Sean McNeill, 6 of the last 8 games, McNeill has taken less than 10 shots. McNeill is a shooter. That's what he does. He's a shooter, and he's a very streaky shooter. And when he's on, he is on, and he don't hardly miss. But in order to get on, a shooter has to shoot, and McNeill just hasn't been getting a lot of shots off. Now, some of that might be his tentativeness. Some of it could also be the defenses have been keying on him. I think it's a little bit of both. That's my personal opinion. I think I've seen a little bit of both. Sometimes I don't think, and sometimes I think it could just be the West Virginia offense not flowing the way it should, them not moving the ball very well, or moving without the basketball the way they should. But when you look earlier in the season, when West Virginia was West Virginia reeled off about 12 or 13 wins in the first 14 or 15 games. Sean McNeill was shooting the ball a lot more. He was probably averaging around 10 to 11 shots a game in those wins. So he needs to get back to that. He needs to get back to shooting the ball at least 10, 11, 12 times a game. That takes some of the pressure off of Taz Sherman to do all the scoring. And it gives them two guys scoring the basketball. And when you've got two guys scoring the ball versus just one, it makes a team a lot harder to guard. And that takes me right into my keys to victory. If you're Texas, deny Sean McNeill the basketball. If you can deny Sean McNeill the ball and don't let him get those 10, 11 shots, like I said, keep his shot total under 10, I think Texas wins this basketball game. Also for Texas, offensively, they need to get the ball in the paint, whether that's penetration, whether it's throwing it inside. That West Virginia has struggled in that department. They have been struggling as of late during this losing streak. They've been struggling to stop penetration to the basket, giving up a lot of free drives. If Texas can do that, they stand a really good chance to win. West Virginia, to feed into that, statistically, West Virginia is 9th in the Big 12 in opponent field goal percentage. So if Texas can get a lot of easy shots, they're likely going to win because West Virginia will give up those. And then Texas just don't turn the ball over. We know West Virginia thrives on forcing turnovers and getting steals. So if they can prevent that, Texas, I think, is one of the top teams in the Big 12 in turnover margin. I think they're actually the top in the league in turnover margin. If they can continue the success in that category, then they should have a much better chance to win. When you look at the keys to victory for West Virginia, they need to stop penetration to the basket. They've got to stop those Texas guards from penetrating, where they can penetrate and shoot or penetrate and kick out to Texas shooters. And then offensively, they need to score the ball inside. West Virginia has got to get the ball in. Their bigs have to do a better job of scoring in the paint. That's one area West Virginia has really struggled this year, is scoring inside. Losing Derek Culver, who left a year early, that really hurt him. He was a really good inside scorer, averaged about a double-double. Was somebody they could throw at the ball when they needed 2 points to stop a run. They could throw it to Culver. He'd get 2 points. They've not had that guy this year. They've had to rely too much on outside shooting. West Virginia needs to get the free throw line. They've been shooting the ball pretty well from the free throw stripe. It's been about the only way they've been able to score consistently, so they need to get the ball. And it goes back to that penetration and getting the ball inside. If they can get the ball inside, draw a foul, get to the free throw line and make their free throws. And then back to the Sean McNeill thing. They've got to get that guy some shots. They've got to run off the screens, run sets, offensive sets. After their latest loss to Iowa State, Huggs was complaining about the fact that he drew up plays at the end of the game for them to run on, that could have sealed it for them. They didn't even run the play. He said he drew it up 2 different times or more. Asked them if they understood it. They said yes. They go out there. They don't run it. So if they can, and the play was for Sean McNeill to get the basketball. So Huggs will draw up plays for Sean McNeill to get the ball. They've got to run the offense correctly, get Sean McNeill the ball, get him some open shots. Taz is going to get his points. We all know that. Taz is going to get his. And I ain't going to say teams are letting him get his points, but they know he's going to. Their key has been to stop Sean McNeill and these other guys, and they've been able to do that, and it's proven successful. So West Virginia has got to find a way to get Sean McNeill open shots, get him doing more in the scoring column so they can get some of these wins as we close out the season and get into Big 12 tournament play. My score prediction, neither one of these teams are going to light it up offensively. They both rely on their defense, especially Texas. I believe Texas, like I said, the spread's not out yet. The Vegas spread is not out as I record this video, so I'm not sure what it's going to be at this point in time. But personally, West Virginia does play a lot better at home, so I do think they'll at least keep the game close. I think the crowd could impact the game. But at the end of the day, I just, based on West Virginia's recent history, I just don't think they're good enough to win. They've just not been playing good basketball. And even games that they've played pretty well, they seem to find a way to lose at the end. Just like they did against Iowa State. They were ahead with, I think, less than a minute to go. Turned the ball over at a crucial time under their own basket. Gave up points and ended up losing the game. So I do think they'll keep it close. But I do think Texas comes out on top just because I think Texas's defense will rule the day. West Virginia's offense has not proven to be able to score very well. I do think both teams will get both of these teams put their opponents at the free throw line a lot, so I think we'll see a lot of free throws. And we all know the way these Big 12 officials call games. We might see who knows how many free throws in this game, but there'll be a lot of them, in my opinion. But I think at the end of the day, Texas comes out on top. I'm predicting a 65-61 victory for the Texas Longhorns. And to be honest, that could be a high scoring total. This game may not make it into the 60s, but I'm giving these teams the benefit of the doubt. 65-61, Texas over West Virginia, full-point victory for the Longhorns. Continues the Mountaineers' losing streak as Bob Huggins tries to figure out a way to get this team on the right track before Big 12 tournament play starts. Well, listen, guys, let me know in the comment section what your score prediction is. Let me know if you think the West Virginia Mountaineers can finally get back on the winning track, or do you think the Longhorns beat the Mountaineers and that losing streak continues? Remember, if you want to place a bet on this game, use the link right here. Use the code JOIN125, get up to 125% credit on your first bet. 100% of that is for the bet, and then you get 25% towards gambling in the casino. If you use this link, it could also help me out. I might get a little bit of commission from it. If you don't bet and you still want to support my channel, you can hit the join button right underneath. You can join me on Patreon, or if you just want to support me for free, hit that red subscribe button if you haven't. Give me the thumbs up. Both of those things help the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment also helps the YouTube algorithm. All that supports my channel. Appreciate you tuning in. And as always, Q Country Roads.